Grantham? Coach, did it change the way you call a defense at all once they get into that kind of a lead and when you get two, three
Not
touchdowns?
really, because those other guys work hard, and you want to see what they know, what they can do to execute. So I mean, we dialed it down a little bit, from the latter part of the third quarter on. But really, the early part of that, when those guys were in there, I wanted to continue to play because we're going to lean on some of those guys to play at some point, sometime. It's good experience for them. Those guys work hard. They need to, play the game plan and understand it. So for about I'd say about half the time they were in there, we were pretty much playing.
What was the thinking, or what do you guys get out of going to that dime package as much as you did? And it seemed like you played that the majority of the game.
Yeah, I mean, what Josh can do, I think Josh is one of the most versatile football players in college football. I mean, the guy can play safety for us, he can play nickel, he can play money backer, and he's a good player at all of those spots. And really, it gets down to matchups. It gets down to how can we get our best players on the field. So we'll continue to utilize him relative to the team we're going to play and the guys that we have available to us. So, I was proud of his efforts, the way he worked. I was proud of really all of our guys because, when you get a game like this, you got to go out and do what you're supposed to do, which is dominate the game and play the way you're supposed to. So I thought the guys did a good job with that. They focused and went out and executed.
Coach, if you wouldn't mind, maybe pull that microphone just a little. Thank you very much. You got a good mix of players out there tonight. Different possession groups and stuff like that, and different guys. What was that like, learning about what you can do with multiple defenses and getting guys out there?
Yeah, I mean, coming from the NFL, you only have so many guys on your team anyway. So a lot of times you'll go into a game with 22 players available, and guys have got to play more than one spot. So I've always been a guy that believes that you rank your players, and then you say, all right, how can I get my best players on the field? So that means that you have to cross-train guys, and guys have to play more than one spot. And if you put things into a concept, so now they're learning concept just rather than learning plays. They learn concepts, and they learn 4 or 5 concepts for this position. I think it's easier to do it that way, and then that allows you to mix and match and put various players on the field relative to down and distance, who you're playing, personnel you're seeing, and those kind of things. So I've always believed that, because defense is about players making plays, and it's about finding ways to get your players, your good players, in one-on-one matchups against the bad players on the offense. And that's what we're going to try to do.
How remarkable was it, Stacey Thomas coming back and leading you in tackles, and what did you see from him kind of as he recovered from that surgery?
Yeah, I was proud of him because I told him, even though the game was well in hand, he hadn't played a lot, and I said, hey, you need this work. It was almost like a preseason game at that point, and he was good with that. He was great, and he goes, I got you, coach, and he went out and performed and executed, and that's really what we needed from him and the other guys that were playing, is to go out and execute and perform, to see where we are with guys and what we need to do moving forward to continue to improve. So I was really proud of Stacey and the way he came back.
Zach Cannon seemed to be in on a lot of things. What was your assessment of how
I think
he
Zach
played?
did a nice job. Zach played nickel and safety for us. He'll continue to do that. He's a conscientious guy that's worked hard in the offseason to learn our defense, learn our packages, and we're going to continue to lean on him to give us some production at both those spots.
Coach, it seemed like the communication on the back end was really good tonight. It seemed like those guys communicated very well in terms of not really having a lot of blown coverages, things on the back end, especially with the tempo, the up-tempo offense.
Right. I mean, first off, our offense will go up-tempo for us in practice, so that helps us. So we've been going up-tempo, really spring ball all the way through training camp. So we do get the tempo style stuff. Sometimes when you go against scout team, you don't get it, so we try to get some of it, but you don't get quite enough of it. But we'll continue to work that. I think our players understand our concepts, our system, and truthfully, I think because guys have played multiple positions, like for example, Zach plays star and safety, I think that it lets them know the total package. It lets them understand where the fits are, and those guys have done a good job of being vocal. It's like I tell them though, it's about being on the same page. Meaning that, hey, even if you call the wrong thing, but you all run it, we're okay. So it's really about being commanding with your calls and being on the same page. And if guys are on the same page, truthfully, anything they call should work. And as long as we continue to do that, I think we'll be fine.
Todd, perfect on third downs tonight, 13 for 13 for your unit. What do you credit that to?
guys that can generate some rush, and guys that got some ability to cover. So, I think that credit goes also to the game plan. You know, third down is always a sticks element down, meaning, you know, 3rd and 3 to 4 is gonna be different than 3rd and 10, 3rd and 14. I think our players do a good job of understanding those different situations. And then, you know, we're gonna try to execute a game plan relative to those situations and how we need to defend them. Because most of the time in third down is gonna be a sticks element route, meaning that relative to the down and distance is where the possession's gonna go. And our players understand that, so we usually try to play the sticks.
Last one here.
Yeah, just what are kind of the various benefits of doing the dime with Josh versus, you know, playing Stacy in there and having a nickel or a base, that, you know, as far
Well,
as.
first of all, you can create 8-man fronts out of base, out of nickel, out of dime. You can create anything you wanna create, with that. I think it gives you speed, on the field, because now you're taking a guy that was a safety and has the ability to play safety, but now he's playing money linebacker for you. I think it kind of takes away, you know, that 4th wide receiver when people go to 10. Also, it can take away athletic tight ends that you might see down the road and that kind of thing. And then truthfully, if you can do it, I think it helps you in your reps, because you only get so many reps each week in practice, in the sense that if you have base, you have nickel, you have dime, I think you can build that, but sometimes it's difficult to get enough reps and things to be efficient. So you gotta balance that out, you know, how do we need to play the game? And we'll continue to do that. But, you know, really it's about matchups and getting your best players on the field. And you know, it's getting our best 11 players on it. So moving forward, we might play dime, we might play nickel. I mean, we'll just have to wait and see, you know, who we're playing.